Welcome to my second home at USG. I'm your MC. Call me Johnny. Here is my friend Alex, Miles, Lisa, and Jenny. I have a message that is so pent up. Let me introduce you to the AICPA Code of Conduct. There are 6 principles I need to tell you about. From the top of the roof, you can hear me shout the lessons you need to know to avoid getting called out. We all know there's no such thing as free lunch. If you don't listen to me, you're going to get your ticket punched. Principle 1 is responsibilities to show moral judgment in your activities, not just to your client and other entities, but to the public and everyone you can't see. This is a reminder, I'm not telling you what to do. Just do unto others as you would have them do unto you. All accountants are bound by the golden rule. Principle 2 is serving the public interest, not playing off Facebook, Twitter, or Pinterest. We accept the obligation to honor the public trust. If you plan on breaking the code, you'll be on the cusp of making your career a complete bust. So heed my warning and demonstrate a commitment to professionalism. Accept your responsibility to the public, her and him. Principle 3 is integrity. It requires an accountant to have honesty, while staying within the constraints of client confidentiality. Integrity comes from the root word integer, which means the state of being undiminished, whole, or entire. Be the person that others can truly admire. This requires you to observe both the form and spirit of technical and ethical standards. Circumventing this observance is a complete scandal, and your career will be snuffed out like a dying candle. Principle 4 is objectivity and independence. Now let's take a quick break to just dance. Alright, let's get back to work. Or maybe we should all twerk.
Nah.
Alright. Objectivity is a state of mind. It's not about being friendly or kind, but being professionally responsible all the time. This principle requires you to be impartial, with an attitude that's considered somewhat martial. This virtue needs you to be intellectually honest, while maintaining freedom of interest conflicts. This is why auditors can't work with a client that they consult for, because they're more likely to be lying. The principle requires continual assessment of a client relationship that you kept with in order to stay fully objective. Thus, we conclude that accountants, public and private, need to stay honest and true before somebody starts a riot. Principle 5 is due care. Not flowers, roses, and fresh air, but the quest for excellence is what I mean here. Each accountant is responsible for his or her competence. This means your actions do have consequence. You want to ensure your work gets turned in with confidence, and that an evaluation yields compliments. It's the sloppy behavior that will get you involved in poor politics. Then your career is over like an apocalypse. Principle 6 is scope and nature of service. Deliver competent work and don't be nervous. Quality controls cannot be completely amorphous. Without conflicts of interest, you should be calm on the surface. Just make sure you assess yourself as a professional. Now to the rules. There are 5 sections, y'all.
Don't be fools, follow the rules.
Section 100, independence, integrity, and objectivity. Remember, this isn't a game, it's serious to me. Or the GAO, DOL, and State Board of Accountancy. Don't forget the SEC, PCAOB, and your CPA Society. In Section 100, there's Rule 101 that addresses independence, not having fun. You can't have financial interest in the client, not even one. No more than 10% of equity securities or other ownership, son. That goes down to 5% for family if you weren't one to run. And, of course, you can't work for them as a director, officer, or employee, not even any management capacity. That includes promoter, underwriter, and trustee. Just remember that will greatly jeopardize your integrity. That leads me to Rule 102, integrity and objectivity learned in school. This rule relates to conflicts of interest and misrepresentation. These aren't foreign concepts pulled out of space, man. These rules pertain to external accountants' obligations as well as your judgments of subordination. A disagreement where you can't save face and have to go through the proper channels of your corporation. Section 200 has 3 rules that apply to general standards and accounting principles. Rule 201, general standards, give you a good base to not be a professional cancer. Obtaining sufficient relevant data and due professional care are two of the few rules that apply here. Professional competence along with planning and supervision, that may seem like a bit to chew on, the other two, but just think it through. These aren't new, which brings me to Rule 202. Compliance with standards give the answer on how to avoid the governmental hammer. Just be sure to abide by the FASB, GASB, PCAOB, and IASB, just as well as the other important committees. Now on to Rule 203, accounting principles used generally. Follow GAAP conscientiously. Luckily, that's the expectancy of an accountant that wants their career to go successfully. Section 300 is responsibilities of the clients and the reliance that you aren't defiant in your alliance with compliance. Realize that you stand on the shoulders of accounting giants and that you need to maintain proper silence. Within Section 300 is Rule 301, client confidentiality information. Sorry for the lack of a pun, but a member in public practice shall not disclose any confidential client information without the specific consent of the client, including debts, income figures, non-public information unless there is a validly issued and enforceable subpoena or summons, and must not prohibit review of a member's professional practice. Now back to me and contingency fees. Let me decree that if we agree to be the draftee of a service guaranteed, then your career will cease to be, and now you're a newly retiree. And in the words of Yoda, that's Rule 023. Section 400 is responsibilities to colleagues not described and renowned as understood obviously to be a professional, a mentor, and encouraging to the others around you, and don't be so mean. Currently, Section 400 is empty, but just remember to act professionally towards your colleagues. Section 500 is kind of meaty, so bear with me. Rule 501 acts discreditable. Violations are incredible. Here comes the federals to claim your license when you act unethical, so don't make the profession discreditable. Rule 502 pertains to advertising and solicitation, publications in multiple locations all over the nations. The creation of unjustified expectations, especially the oversimplification of the point of misrepresentation. Now Rule 503, commission and referral fees. Don't have unease. Typically you can collect these monies by referring someone else's expertise. Just disclose it, please. Now Rule 504 has been deleted. Apparently we don't need it. Rule 505, form of organization. This is a CPA's declaration designated by the resolution's information that a majority of CPAs control the attestation among following all aspects of compliance and regulation. This wrap is a quick glance at the AICPA'S Code of Conduct, so read it yourself so you don't get